Just what, pray tell, is Illinois going to do with that Ohio State defense? What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching, adapt and respond. Thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round. If you're into that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question in the comments below. Do you think Illinois can upset number one Ohio State? And if you do, tell me how. Because I see this going really one way, but I'm willing to game this out with you. And I think Illinois deserves that. They've shown against everybody but Indiana, they not only can stay in the game, they can win. But it's that 63-10 loss to Indiana at Bloomington that is still really making me think about this. And the reason I am is you'll remember, Ohio State fans, 2018, a 55-10, 55-17, 55-14, 55-10 loss to Iowa that torpedoed your opportunity to make the college football playoff when we were still playing with 4 teams in 2018. I think Illinois is looking at that loss in Indiana much the same way. So they really need a win like this one against Ohio State to keep themselves in the at-large hunt for the Big Ten championship, for the college football playoff, if not in the Big Ten championship race. But it ain't the offense that I'm worried about. I mean, Luke Altmyer threw for 390 yards earlier on Saturday, and Hank Beatty had 186 yards receiving. Now, they thumped Purdue, and it is Purdue. But Luke Altmyer has been playing a Heisman-caliber football, save that one game against Indiana, and Hank Beatty has been one of the better wide receivers in all of college football. They've also been decent enough running the football with Fegan at running back. But as much as I want to give Luke Altmyer his props and I want to give Hank Beatty his props, Julian Sayin has just been that much better, man. He threw for over 300 yards against Minnesota. He has a really great kinship with Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith. Carnell Tate, who had 183 yards receiving on 9 catches against Minnesota. Jeremiah Smith, who is still the best offensive player in all of college football. And then they got this guy in Bo Jackson who's averaging 99 yards a game himself. And that's before we talk about C.J. Donaldson and James Peoples behind him. And that's just the offense, right? We could talk about Brandon Ennis. We could talk about Max Clare. And we could talk about how good they are about keeping Julian Sayin clean. But let's assume that Illinois and Ohio State, for the sake of this argument, are equal offensively. They are not defensively. And while they've been decent for Illinois, giving up, 23 points per game, 23.4. Now it's inflated with that Indiana game, as Illinois fans will be the first people to tell you. But that's a little bit different than Ohio State giving up less than 5 a game. Remember, the last 2 teams to play them combined to score 9 points. The last 3 teams to play them combined to score 18 points. And the last 4 teams to play them combined to score 18 points. Realize that Ohio State has given up 25 points in 5 games this year. That's it. That's all. 25. 5 points per game they're allowing. They're not giving up a touchdown. They have not allowed a red zone touchdown all year. They have kept a lid on their defense no matter where they are. Now, the question was, could they do this away? Well, they went to Washington and they held them to 6 points after Washington put up 50 on Washington State, and DeMond Williams went for 298 and 88 on the ground. You just can't do anything with that defense, particularly the defensive line and its secondary. But Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese have been seeking whom they may destroy and doing a brilliant job of that, along with the 2 Catons, Curry and McDonald, getting upfield, getting into the pass rush and making it really difficult for anybody to move, man. I'm so impressed by what I've seen from this Ohio State team. I mean, again, 18 points, 25 points, 5 games. But they've also been putting up 14, 70, 37, 24, 42. And while, I get it, like against Western Michigan, it was 38-0. Against Duke, it's 45-19. Against Purdue, it's 43-27. Against SC, you needed to come back late for 32 win. But Indiana is much more of the caliber of football team that you're expecting to see when you're playing for championships. And that is what Illinois is trying to level up to do. It is trying to show that Indiana was an aberration and not regular when it comes to playing top 10 opponents. And that is the Penn State curse, right? It is, can you beat teams that we think are fighting in your same weight class? Can you be as dominant? Can you be as lethal? And right now, it feels like only Oregon and Ohio State have been able to answer that bell outside of Ole Miss. I mean, in the Big Ten, I should say. In the SEC, Ole Miss has obviously done that. And we'll get to see a little bit later on this week, actually, if Indiana can do that against Oregon, knowing that Oregon was able to do it against Penn State team that we no longer think is any good. But again, I think this is going to be one of those styles making fights. And I think Ohio State has another opportunity to throw down another marker against a great offense. At this point, I didn't think that the Ohio State defense could get better, but it can. Because the 3 that they gave up, they're probably mad about giving up to Minnesota. Probably think that should be a 0. They gave up 3 in the first quarter and then nothing else. And that's where I think that it really turns into something different for Ohio State. Because when you're up 42-3, you could send in guys that aren't as good or don't play to the standard. But everybody holds the line over there. They are deep all up and down the board, and they're healthy. It's one thing for you to have JT Tuimoloau and Jack Sawyer at end last year and then be able to throw in Caden McDonald and Caden Curry. It is a cliche, and I hate hearing it, and I don't like saying it. But in this instance, it's true, and that's how cliches become cliches. They're true. Ohio State does not rebuild, it reloads. And in the age of name, image, and likeness, and the transfer portal and immediate eligibility, what they have, they can go get. But they don't need to. Like when they went to go get Julian Sayin and Caleb Downs, because they went on clearance. That's what happens when your head coach decides to leave in January. The players go on clearance. That means they get a free transfer, and you get to go, hey, we're the best team in the country, and we can offer you the best deal. What do you think? And Caleb Downs and Julian Sayin said, absolutely, thank you. Meanwhile, you cast off we didn't know it at the time, dead weight that is Jim Knowles for Matt Patricia. Jim Knowles, who had the best scoring defense in the country last year, won a national championship, became the highest paid highest paid assistant coach in college football history when he signed with Penn State, only to give up 42 to UCLA and get beat by Oregon. This year, Matt Patricia, in his year 1 as a Buckeye, has put together a better run to start, and there's no 3-year curve with this, man. Jim Knowles, it took 3 years for him to put together a dominating defense, and that might be what it takes at Penn State. I just don't think he's going to get that kind of time because he was brought in to make them a national champion this year, right now. That's what the $3 million is for. Matt Patricia saw what Jim Knowles left and said, oh, yeah, I know exactly what to do with this. I know how to make this work. I know how to make this go. I wouldn't have got up and left this job. And that is the way that I think many Buckeye fans wanted to feel it should go. I think it'll be closer than Minnesota and Ohio State, but I don't think it's going to be that much closer. Do I think it's going to be Indiana, Illinois? No, but the problem is you can't count that out as a possibility, and that is what makes Ohio State different.